I'm Eric Wielander, and today I'm going to show you how to use the VSCO app to take your photos to the next level. So VSCO, or VSCO as some people say, I think is short for Visual Supply Company. It's an app that's been around for a while. It's almost like Adobe Lightroom in that it's sort of really swept the community, and so many people use VSCO, and it can really dramatically elevate the level of your photography, even if you're just taking simple pictures with your phone. If you know how to use VSCO, once you get the hang of it, you can really make your photos pop and look, your friends will just be like, was that a professional photographer? That looks amazing. So all good things are probably going to cost you a little bit of money. VSCO is a free download though, and you can use a variety of the presets right out of the box without paying for anything, but you don't get all of them, and you also get most of the basic editing features. The only editing features you don't get are the hue, saturation, and luminance sliders, as well as adding borders to your picture. So if you want to be able to zoom, put the picture inside of a bigger colored border for something. So VSCO X is their premium subscription annual membership package, and that is $20 a year to get all of the filters and all of the editing tools and anything they're going to create in the future related to that. You'll just get that as part of that membership. Personally, I subscribe to that, but I know it's a lot, and if subscriptions aren't really for you, you can also get a variety of their filter packs for $2 to $4 depending on the pack, and that won't give you all the features of VSCO X, but it'll give you a few different more presets to get going. So how do you get your photos into VSCO? Well, it's pretty easy. You just launch the app here, and then you hit the plus button, and then it'll start to pull pictures from your camera roll. And you can also, for those super nerds out there who want to import photos from other places other than the camera roll, they have a sharing extension where you can go to the share sheet and copy photos into VSCO from another app where you might be viewing that photo. We're going to work with 3 different photos today. First is a place, then a photo of people, myself and my gorgeous wife, and then a photo of food, or more importantly, brownies and marshmallow for dessert. So if that doesn't make you hungry, let's get started. So I'm gonna open up the first picture. All I have to do is just double tap on that, and it'll bring it large, and that allows me to see more detail of the photo, of course, and then I can hit the edit button, brings me into edit mode, and you'll see along the bottom all the different presets that I can choose from to make this photo look better. And I've gone ahead in this far button on the bottom bar, you can choose your favorite filters and star them so they're up at the top, and you can also then go ahead and drag to reorder filters so they're set up the way you want to, because as you edit more and more pictures, you'll kind of develop a style where you like certain presets, you don't like other presets, so being able to favorite them is really nice. Also, if you're doing this to try and get a consistent look or a more professional look on your Instagram account so that all your photos in your profile kind of flow together with the same look and feel, filters, I'm using basically the same 2 or 3 of them, is gonna go a long way towards that. Let's look here at my favorite filters, and that one looks pretty cool. I don't know, I like this like chilling effect of the P4, just looks really ice cold. Q4 just looks like a lot of brown in this shot, so maybe not so much. Same as S3. U1's okay, but I don't really use that filter much. I really like what Q3 is doing though to these colors. It makes it pop more, and you can always see the original photo in VSCO if you just hold down and then let go, press and hold with your thumb and then let go. You'll be able to see what the original was like, and that really helps you get a feel for what the filter looks like. And this has a very cinematic look to it, which I like for this shot, because it's kind of a high up cinematic angle. So now you tap once to apply the filter, and then if I tap on the filter again, it will give me a slider where then I can choose how much do I want to apply this filter. If you can see at 0, it's basically the original image. But then if I move the slider up, I can do it all the way, which is the default, or I can just do it some of the way. So, maybe I just want to start with like that amount sounds good. So I do that, and then I tap the edit button over here, and that brings me to more of the standard editing controls that you have. So I think the highlights are a little high. First, I'm gonna go ahead though, I want in the bottom of the city just to look really dark. So I'm gonna go ahead and up the contrast a little bit. And so you can see that that's gonna make some of the bottom parts of the city just feel way darker. So that's good, but upping the contrast has kind of blown out the highlights at the top with the sky. So I'm gonna go over here to the highlights and turn that up to kind of get that sky a little better here. That needs a lot of help in this case, so I'm gonna bump that up a lot. And then, I don't know if I really need any clarity or sharpening in this photo. I'm gonna add a little bit of split toning, so adding a tint to the shadows will sort of give it a feel, kind of emphasize this orange feel. I don't want it too much because I don't want the picture to just look really brown or orange, but I'm gonna give it a little bit of tint to the shadows. And then I really want that sky and the lake to feel really ice cold. So I'm gonna give that a bunch of tint as well. And just, we're gonna kick that up to 12, like full blast, just make that really blue, you know, polar climate out there. Let me try the white. That's kind of cool too. Actually, that really looks good. Let's try this. Yeah, I think that like the cream tint or whatever looks really nice, and then it really brings out the snow in the lake. So I'm gonna hit okay on that. Now, of course, if we're gonna get ready to post this to Instagram, we need to crop this. So I'm gonna go over here and choose the 1:1 aspect ratio for cropping for Instagram, and then just kind of move this around to how I want it. That looks pretty good. And then I hit the check mark, and that'll crop it. And so we can press and hold and see our original photo, new photo, original photo, new photo. And so it just looks way more cinematic, way more interesting, way more dramatic this way. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit save, and now that photo is ready to post to Instagram or whatever I want to do with it later on. So I can just, you know, tap on that and hit these, hit this share button here, or sorry, actually hit these 3 dots up here, and then save it to my camera roll, which is probably what I want to do in this case. But I can also share it out directly from VSCO. Now let's look at a photo of people. So this is myself and my beautiful wife over the weekend. Go here to edit, and I don't usually post pictures of people to my Instagram, so I don't use a lot of those filters. I'm just gonna try a few different filters here. Let's see some ones that work well. That looks good. Kind of adds a nice hue to it, but it brings out the jeans, the whites in the jeans too much. That's probably a little better, but then you can't really see the wall. That looks too orange. Yeah, sure, I'll go with FR4, and maybe we'll go ahead and do it a little more. And then this is a great example of, you have, some of these filters have more sliders you can adjust about the filter, and that can really help you as you're a beginning editor. You might not know as well how to use some of the other custom controls, so just some of these dials on the filters will help you get a really cool shot right out of the box. I don't really know what the character slider is doing. It looks like it's doing something with the shadows. So yeah, I want a darker character here, I guess. Maybe a little bit. I like it like that. Not too much contrast. So we'll hit that, and then we'll go over here to edit and choose, I think we need to edit the skin tones. That's another great thing. You can edit the skin tones in VSCO, and it's just modifying the tint of people's faces. Usually it tries to guess at what is skin tone, so it's not always going to be perfect, but and yeah, I think we look better with a little bit more of a pinkish hue. It's been a pretty cold winter in Chicago here, and we need all the help we can get from the skin tone department. Speaking of that, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of actually not tint. Why am I in tint? I need the temperature, and I don't want to make it look too orange, but just a little bit more tint. Another cool one, because this picture has so much black in it, you can kind of use the vignette and it's not really gonna matter on a lot of the rest of it, and it'll just kind of darken that floor if you notice what it's doing to the floor, which otherwise would kind of take away attention from the main subject of the picture. So I'm gonna do that. And then we can press and hold and see our picture's starting to look pretty good. A lot better than what it was before. Our whites don't look nearly as blown out on my shirt. The floor is not so bright, and the skin tones look a little more natural. So I think it looks good overall. Maybe a little bit of grain, just kind of a hipster effect. Probably not, that looks cheesy. So I'm just gonna hit save on this, and there we go. So much better than the original picture. So the next picture is food, but first I want to show you something that I do with my photos before they even get to VSCO, and that's to figure out what photos are worth my time to look at in VSCO and make look really good. What are my best photos? And so I made an app called Best Photos. It's on the App Store for iOS. Sorry, Android users, don't have a version for you guys. But if you look here, one of the keys to taking good pictures of food is the camera angle. So many people, when they're sitting and eating their dinner, they just take their picture like this. And that is just the same boring angle, and it doesn't really bring out the character of whatever food you're eating. So if you look here, that was the generic angle. And then if I go to the next picture, I'm up closer, and you can get so much of a better sense of what the food is, what it tastes like. This beautiful brownie and melted warmed marshmallow on top with a little bit of powdered sugar, and you can just see so many more of the details. Like if we go here to compare side by side, there's just no comparison. I've imported this picture into VSCO already, so if I just double tap, I can, or actually I can even go straight into edit mode if you just tap on the picture down in the bottom bar. Hit that edit icon, and now I can go through some of these filters. So let's check out the U1. U5 looks really good. I'm really sensitive in this with the white marshmallows. It can be really easy with some of these photo presets to blow out your highlights or shadows with some adjustment. In this case, I'm really watching the powdered sugar here on the top of the marshmallow. So like if I do this preset, it really kind of blows out the detail on that powdered sugar in a way that I don't want for something like food. So I'm gonna go with this U5. I feel like its detail is a little better on that part of the photo. It looks a little orange to me, so I'm not gonna do the full effect of the filter, maybe down to an 8, and then go over here to edit. I think it needs a little more contrast maybe, so I don't know, let's just try the clarity slider, which is a little bit of sharpness and contrast kind of together, because we really want people to see that stuff. We don't want it to look burnt, you know, because if we amp it all the way up here, that just looks weird and burnt and not yummy. So you gotta be careful with food, what you do to the edit, because yeah, it can backfire on you. I think it's a little bit too warm of a temperature. So I'm gonna just cool it off just a little bit. I really like this cream highlight again, and just kind of, it brings out the marshmallow look, that like creamy marshmallow. So yeah, now if I like tap on this and then look at the after, like look at how much more dramatic those colors are. It's a very subtle difference, but it just makes it so much more inviting and just so much more like your friends and your followers can just taste that really good food that you had. Okay, so I'm gonna hit save on this one as well. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and save that out to my camera roll at the full size. I don't know why you'd wanna save it smaller than the full size, but just save it as the full size, and then it's there for you to enjoy and share with your friends. Thanks so much for watching this tutorial of VSCO. I'd highly recommend you go check out the app. It's really fantastic. And let me know in the comments down below if you've already used VSCO and you have your own tips or tricks. I'd love to hear them, because I want to get better at using the app too. And give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you in the next one.